What's up, YouTube? Ending back again, and today I'm finally going to show you my plant deck profile. This is the deck that I got my invite to nationals with at San Diego Regionals. I mean, I was very happy to get my invite. I mean, I got it. The build, I had been working on it for so long, and I was like really happy with it that day. But basically, like before we were finalized on like bulb and spore getting banned, like I had decided on a new build for it, which I'll talk about it. There's only like a few minor changes, and I'll tell you about the few cards I decided not to use and whatnot. But basically, I'm gonna go into it. I'm gonna like explain to you as well as I can about my decisions to run certain cards and stuff like that. And basically, tomorrow is the last day of the format, and at my college, I'm gonna be running this deck all day. I want to get my fill of it before they're officially banned. I love this deck so much. I played it for like over a year. It's gonna be my favorite deck ever. I mean, with plants, there's just so much thought that goes in every play, and it's just, I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss, like, it's just so, like, I don't feel like there's gonna be another deck like this. Like, not that there's not gonna be a deck that's as good, just like there's just so much thought behind this deck, and just so much, I don't know, it feels like old time Yu-Gi-Oh, where you can put a band, like a ragtag band of monsters and cards together and make something that's beautiful. And that's what I love about plants, and I'm sincerely gonna miss them. This is honestly my favorite deck I've ever played. I mean, it definitely hold a place in my heart, and I mean, it really sucks to have to let them go. It sucks that bulb and spore got banned. I mean, what can you do? That's Konami. I'm not gonna really bitch about it. It sucks because I loved playing plants, and I was hoping to get to play them this format too, because I had a lot of cool changes that were definitely gonna be good for this format. So we'll just go right into it anyways. So let's move this out of the way. Nice token. It's actually like made like an Orica, so it's like really high quality. I got it a few regionals back. It's like pretty awesome. So if you ever see anyone using this token and then the Chaos Sorcerer mat, it's probably me. So go ahead and ask about it if we ever run across each other. So we'll go right into it. So first off, obviously we got Tengu in the plant engine. I mean, this is like technically the heart of the deck. This is what plants are. This is what gets the engine going. It just makes the deck just make circles, like circles after circles after circles. Is just so great. Like, it sucks Tengu got hit and spore and bulb. I can't stress that enough. It's just wow. But I mean, oh well, what can you do, dude? That's Konami. But yeah, so obviously you know that. We had all the fiends plus bus. I mean, bus in plants is so broken. I mean, you could just keep sending Tengus back, sending Tour Guide back, obviously. Just a lot of great plays like that. I was running double Max C at the time. I didn't have the third one yet, so I just ran 2 and 2 Veilers, and it worked out really well. I actually got looped. I think it was like round 4, and I didn't have the Max C. And luckily, the last card in my hand that I had left was a Cyber Dragon, and he left his Zen Mighty on the field, so I just contact fused and then just started poking that way. But I got really lucky, and that was like game 2, or no, that was game 3, and then I just somehow survived, and I got past him, and I was just really happy, because that was like the first time anyone had ever looped me in real life, and it was pretty horrendous. Double Thunder King, obviously Thunder King's just a boss. When you summon him, you can just play like a straight Thunder King game, and if you're just like setting everything and just keep poking with Thunder King, they're just gonna have a tough time getting around it. And again, like this whole Cyber Dragon, that saved me in windups, and I mean, Cyber Dragon was just so amazing in that deck. Definitely loved it. Technically the boss monsters of the deck were Caius, Gores, and BLS. I mean, for obvious reasons. Sometimes I didn't like Caius because, like, to tribute my monster, like, obviously most of the time it's going to be a Tengu or something that's not too big of a deal to tribute, but a lot of the times I felt like I was extending and I was going to get like Veilered or Warning and stuff like that. It didn't happen too often, but a lot of the times I did side him out because I didn't want it to be like a slow game. I just wanted to like I didn't want to have to grind out the games with Caius and stuff like that. And then Gores for obvious reasons and BLS for obvious reasons. They're just great cards to have in the deck, and especially with like 5 light targets and like 7 dark targets, something like that. I mean, BLS obviously fits in really well. We go into spells and traps. Obviously, those are all pretty obvious. I mean, Smashing Ground definitely was one of my favorite ones. It's just to get rid of Logia. Same with Book of Moon. It's just trying to like bait out Logia's effect, and it really helped. I played Rabbit 3 times, and the second time I lost, and the third time I got it. So I mean, it's hit and miss with that deck. I mean, it just depends. If you open up well enough, you can beat them. But if they open up broken and your hand's can't keep up speed, it's going to be like a snowball effect, and they're just going to get over you way too well. Then we have my plant spells, what I consider plant spells. Like econs are just so busted with Tengu. Like, oh my god, like attributing a Dandelion to take someone's BLS and swing for game is just so retarded. I mean, I love econ in this deck. I don't know what deck I would run it in now, but it's still a great card. And if you have good cards to use econ with, the card is freaking busted. I decided not to run 1-for-1 at the time because Maxi's getting played so heavily, and I don't want them to have something to drop it on right away. And so, like, if they dropped it on Tour Guide, I would just go into Sangin, and they would just replace the Maxi, and then I can extend more the next time because I know they already burned up one of their Maxis, so that was always good. And same with Scapegoats. Like, Scapegoats and Econ is just so retarded. I really liked it a lot. Scapegoat saves you. It's just a great card all around. And then the only traps I ran are pretty obvious. I mean, Mirror Force and the Torrential are just amazing. Just keeps the field open. And then obviously Judgment, or like the Solemn Brigade, like Judgment and Warnings, they're just amazing. Obviously, we all know that. They just get the job done. They, like, obviously Judgment stops what we need to stop, and then Warnings will stop the big monsters if you have it at the right time. If you guys noticed, I didn't run a Dandelion, or not Dandelion, excuse me, a Debris Dragon. There's so many times like where I've been playtesting with Debris Dragon to where I'm just like setting him, and he's just like a wall for like a little while, which could have been like a Spirit Reaper if that's the case, you know what I mean? And it was like the times I was getting his effect off with like a Dandelion or a Lone Fire, or like even just other cards for that matter, were like few and far between. So I decided not to play Debris Dragon and not to play 1-for-1. Which, I don't know, I like 1-for-1, but I took them out because I just didn't want a Maxi to, like, capitalize on me. So, I don't know, it works, so I have no complaints. Then, for the extra deck, Catastor, Armory Arm, Bionic, Black Rose, Formula, obviously. We're playing plans, so, like, Armory Arm and Formula can fit in really well. Stardust, Scrap Dragon, Hyper Librarian, obviously, because we're playing like a Synchro Eccentric deck, so it's like you're gonna plus so much. Like there were so many plays where I was just getting pluses off of it, and they didn't have Maxi, so I was just capitalizing on that. It's just really good. And then Trish, obviously, I mean, it sucks that the card's gone, but I got to abuse it while it was around. I remember packing it when it first came out, so I mean, I've been able to use it since day one, pretty much. Chimera Tech, obviously, there's like Zen mains and stuff like that. It just Chimera Tech did a lot of work, and I think it's definitely a staple in any extra deck. For the Xyz, we got Levier, of course, Leviathan, Utopia Ray, which is such a boss. If you're low in life points, or even if Utopia has no material, or if you mind control or econ someone else's Utopia, you can overlay with him. It's just freaking busted. And then of course we have one Zen Main. Zen Main was a boss. He definitely helped out against the windups to hold them down while I keep drawing what I needed, because they couldn't really get over him. They didn't want their stuff to get popped. So I mean, he really did save me. Until the very last when we actually went into time, and I was just trying not to lose my Zen mains. I had like one material left. He had Zen mains, and I eventually got rid of his Zen mains. And then I had the point where I had one Zen mains on the field, one material, and then a Doom Caliber Knight in my hand, and I wanted to summon it and start attacking, but I was just so worried about them making me like hit my own Zen mains with Doom Caliber Knight's effect. So I just set him. And he ended up trying to attack the face down with Shark, and he took 300, and he was already like less than 1,000. And at that point, we were already in time, and it was pretty much a game at that point. And then the side deck at that time, the first one is a Cyber Dragon. I'm actually letting someone borrow it right now, so I don't have it. It was one Cyber Dragon, 2 Doom Cals, a Reaper, 3rd Thunder King, because just Thunder King's amazing. 2 Lances. I was worried about like Fiendish Chains and Bottomlesses and stuff like that, like when people sided in. So I tried to play around with it. Forbidden Lance actually saved me against Dino Rabbit. The 3rd game I played, they summoned Guaiba, and I had Doom Caliber Knight. And they go to attack Guaiba, or they go to attack Doom Caliber Knight with Guaiba, and then during damage step I drop Lance, and he was kind of confused because he was going to drop Lance too. So he drops Lance anyways, so like he doesn't take as much damage, but his Guaiba still dies. So I don't know. The 3rd MST, I don't know if that was smart or not. I think the next format is going to be better for 3 MSTs. But the time I started in 3, it started to get cloggy when I was playing like TG Stun, and it could have been something else. I don't feel like I should have sided it in. I should have just let them keep their spells and traps. So I don't know. And then the second Smashing, just for certain matchups, you might want to like get rid of their monsters quicker. They might be spamming the field too much, and it really helps, especially against Rabbit and stuff like that. Like you need a lot of good 1-for-1s against them. And then the traps, as you can see, like 2 Bottomless, 2 Compulse, 2 Deprison. like pretty much 2 traps, like 2 of each 1-for-1s for every type of deck. What a lot of plant players have been doing, which is, I didn't know this for a while, that they actually cited into stun, but for the thing was I've been doing that for a while, and I started hearing other plant players say that they've been doing that, and it's kind of interesting because you can compare sides with them, and your sides will be totally different, but they still work, and it's amazing. You just side out like I would side out all the plants, sometimes the Cyber Dragon, sometimes Caius and stuff like that, the Econs, Foolish, Scapegoat, and then usually just side in a bunch of back row, and like you'd smoke screen them, like shuffle in your extra deck, or shuffle in your side deck into your main deck, and basically they won't know how many cards you're taking out because all they see is you take out 15, so they don't really know what's going on, so it really helps in that sense. And that's one thing that I loved about plants, is that you can like play plants one game, and then game 2 and 3 you're playing stun, and they're totally like, what the hell? I cited in chain disappearances, and I cited in maxis, or I kept my maxis in, and I'm not special summoning like tour guide at the most, maybe a reborn Tengu, like out of if it gets destroyed or something, and I get one out. But for the most part, I wasn't secret summoning like game 2 and 3. For the most part, I was like exceed summoning and shit like that. So it just really helped, and I was like playing more like Doomcobra Knight and Thunder King games, like trying to just hold them back in that sense. So that's technically it. I mean, one thing I was going to do this format is what I was playing around with, which is probably going to do tomorrow. I took out Cyber Dragon and Caius all together, and I decided to run 2 Doomcobra Knights, which is amazing because like Inzectors and stuff like that, and just it has like a sort of a Thunder King effect to where your opponent is like locked in some sort of way. Like Thunder King, you can kind of dance around it, but Doomcobra Knight's just a landmine. It's like if you make the wrong move, Doomcobra Knight's gonna go off. And like people would drop like Veilers and Maxis, so it'd make me feel more safe. It's like Doomcobra Knight did his job, to where I would know that I can extend the next turn, or to where I can explode because I know that they're not going to capitalize on it with Max C. So in that sense, Doomcobra Knights really helped. If plants were still around this format, definitely people would be maining 2 Thunder King, 2 Doomcows, because it's just so amazing, especially against the Inzector matchup. It would just really help a lot, and they would just be stuck. I mean, obviously we'd run Fiendish Chains, so I mean they'd be locked down like 2 Veilers, 2 Doomcows, 2 Fiendish Chains. That would really hurt them, and all around it'd just be amazing. So again, this is my plant deck. Definitely gonna miss it. I'm holding on to all this stuff, like the Tengus. I'm not gonna get rid of. They hold like some sort of sentimental value to me. So I just put the playset in my binder, like the bulb and the spore go in my band collection. But pretty much this is my deck. I'm gonna miss it. It got me my first invite, so I'm really happy about that. It was just a great experience. Just altogether, plants just never did me wrong. I love this deck from the bottom of my heart. It's the best deck I've ever played. It made me a better player to play this deck, just by all the thought, and it was like playing chess or something. It was just so much thought in this deck, and it was just such an amazing deck. I mean, I've gone on about so much, but I really did have a love affair with this deck, and it sucks that it's gone now, but I mean, there's not too much I can do about it. So I mean, I'm just gonna have to move on, but I'll never forget this deck. It's just most amazing deck ever. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry it was so lengthy, and I'm sorry it took me so long to film it. It's just like I don't have a tripod, and I haven't asked anyone to really film it for me, so I just decided to do it on a whim for tonight, since tomorrow's the last day of the format. And basically wanted to show you guys what I got my invite with. Tomorrow I'm not going to be running Cyber Dragon or Caius, and I will be running a 1-for-1, which is really good, especially with Tourbus. It was just so good. But at regionals, I didn't want to lose to a Max C. That was my whole problem. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck, like I said. Long live plants. I'm sorry they're gone. It sucks so much. I'll never forget the deck. I love you, plants. Shout out to Dandelion, Spore, Glow Bulb, and Lone Fire Blossom, and shout out to Reborn Tengu. Thank you all for everything you've done for me. Thank you all for your subs and your views. I appreciate it all. Shout out to Whitney Houston. That's pretty much it, guys. Endoom out. Long live plants.